What actually makes an organization successful? It feels like it should be a simple question, right? But the real answer? Well, it goes way deeper than just looking at the profits. Today, we're going to unpack the real science behind what's called organizational effectiveness.
I mean, we've all heard it a million times. The bottom line is all that matters. If a company is making a ton of money, it must be successful. Case closed. But is that really the whole story? Think about it. What if that profitable company is completely burning out its employees? Or what if it's so rigid it can't adapt to any kind of change? Is that really success? I don't think so.
And this leads us to this really powerful concept, organizational effectiveness, or OE for short. Now, this definition you see here is from way back in 1957, which just goes to show you this isn't some new fad, it's a timeless truth. Real success is about balance. It's not just about hitting your goals, but it's about how you get there, without destroying your resources, or more importantly, your people in the process.
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we're gonna approach it like a doctor. We're gonna give our organization a complete health checkup. First, we'll check its vital signs. Then we're gonna diagnose the root causes of what's going on. After that, we'll look at an integrated framework that gives us the full picture. And finally, we'll talk about how to actually put this all to work.
Right. Every good checkup starts with the basics, measuring the vital signs. And for any organization, this means we have to look beyond just one single number. A truly healthy organization, you'll see, shows its strength across 4 totally different but equally important areas.
First up, the one we all know, the usual suspect. It's financial health. Yeah, of course. Things like profit, market share, return on equity, all that stuff is absolutely critical. It tells us if the organization is even viable, but I want you to think of this like a doctor taking a patient's temperature. It's a super important first step, for sure, but it's only the very beginning of the diagnosis.
Next, we check the operational pulse. How well is the organization actually running day to day? This is all about productivity, efficiency, and the quality of its work. Is it growing? Is it actually hitting the targets it sets for itself? This tells us if the core engine of the organization is humming along nicely or, sputtered.
Third, we've got to look at its structural health. You could almost think of it as the organization's skeleton. How is it built? Is it flexible enough to adapt and innovate? How well does information actually flow from one part to another? Can it pivot when the world throws it a curveball? This is so crucial for long-term survival and hopefully thriving.
And last, but honestly, maybe the most important vital sign of them all, the human element, the attitudinal measures. This is all about the people. Are your employees happy? Are they committed? Or is turnover through the roof and everyone's calling in sick? An organization is literally nothing without its people, and their attitude is a direct reflection of its internal health.
Now, here's the key takeaway. These 4 vital signs are not 4 separate things. They're all tangled together. As you can see in this framework, they all fit together right in the center. Strong finances, smooth operations, a flexible structure, and happy people, they combine to give you that complete 360-degree view of performance. A weakness in one area? You better believe it's going to drag the others down with it.
Okay, so we've taken the vitals, we have our readings. Now, a good doctor doesn't just treat the symptoms, right? They dig deeper to find the root cause. To do that for an organization, we have to understand what's really driving those performance measures we just looked at.
And to find those root causes, what the academics call antecedents, we have to look in 3 distinct places. We can zoom way in and look at the individual employee. We can zoom out a bit and look at the dynamics of their team or their group. And then we can pull the camera all the way back to see the entire organization as a whole. Because problems and strengths at any one of these levels will create ripples through the whole system.
So let me make this really concrete for you. At the individual level, a single employee's attitude has a direct, tangible impact every single day. But at the organizational level, big picture things like the corporate culture and the overall strategy, they create the environment where that individual either gets to thrive or they just struggle to survive. You have to understand both to see what's really going on.
All right, now for the main event. We've checked the vital signs. We've looked for the root causes. Now it's time to put all of these pieces together into one single, powerful diagnostic tool, the Integrated Effectiveness Framework.
And here it is, the complete picture. Just look at the flow here, from left to right. Over on the far left, you've got the antecedents, those root causes we were just talking about, happening at the individual, group, and organizational levels. Those things directly influence the 4 vital signs in the middle. And then, when those vitals are strong, they lead to the awesome outcomes you want on the right.
Better profits, engaged employees, happy customers, you name it. It's a crystal clear chain from cause to effect.
What's also great about this framework is that it helps us avoid some really common mistakes. You can think of them as diagnostic errors. For example, focusing only on how efficient you are internally while completely ignoring what's happening in the outside world, that's like a doctor checking your vitals but not asking about your diet or exercise. These are the kinds of traps that lead to a totally inaccurate diagnosis of an organization's health.
So, we have our diagnosis. What now? Well, the final, most important step is to use this new understanding to write a prescription, to actually take action that's going to make a real, lasting difference. And it's really important for you to know, this framework isn't just some nice idea someone dreamed up. It's built on a rock-solid foundation. It is the result of a massive, systematic review of 134 different academic studies. So what that means is this isn't just theory, it's a proven roadmap for how truly effective organizations actually work in the real world.
And this quote just brings it all home to our world right now. In this post-COVID era we're all living in, things like employee burnout and work-life imbalance, they're not soft issues anymore. They are direct, serious threats to an organization's effectiveness. This just hammers home how critical those attitudinal measures, that human element, are right here, right now.
So, this whole framework really leaves us with a challenge. I want you to think about your own organization for a second. In this crazy, fast-changing world, what is the one thing, the single most important factor for its effectiveness right now? Is it being more adaptable? Is it employee commitment? Is financial stability? The answer is going to be different for everyone, but just knowing how to ask the right questions, that's the first real step toward building an organization that is truly, deeply successful.